Thank you, Professor. When I listen to the introduction, I'm a little bit confused whether it's talking to me as the most powerful people, influential people, and first let me introduce myself. I'm 100% made in China, and I learned my English by myself when I was a kid from most of the American tourists when they visit my city called Hangzhou. So 1970s, early 1970s, when a lot of foreign visitors visited the city. So every morning I got up early and become the tour guide for them for 9 years, a free guy, and they told me English, and I showed them around. And I learned out the language, I learned the culture, and I learned how to think differently because everything I learned from my schools when I was a kid was different from the things I learned from the foreign tourists. Because my father and my school teachers told me that China was the richest country in the world and we're going to liberate the world, and just like today's North Korea. And later I found out that was not true. So since then I'm a little bit different from most of the Chinese. People say, Jack, you're different from the Chinese. But but American people look at me like a very typical Chinese. The Chinese look at me as like American people because I understand the culture here. So I've never even one day trained in the States, but I learned a lot. I got my internet concept from the States. Well, first let me introduce you a little bit about Alibaba Group. Alibaba was founded in 1999, 18 founders in my apartment, and just to have an idea, we believe internet is going to change China. Internet is booming, so nobody believed us. Everybody said, well, it's like, how can you do internet in China? Because China government, the censorship, and this and that, there's no reasons for us to survive. And today people say, Jack, you're a visionary. How could you tell e-commerce internet 10 years ago? And I said, I think it's like we are like a blind man riding on the back of blind tigers just by accident. We focused, we make the thing happen, and today, from 18 people now, today we have more than 20,000 people. And we've grown from one company to 5 companies right now. The first company is called Alibaba.com. It is focused on small, medium-sized companies, helping small, medium-sized companies. We have over 38 million registered SMEs in China using our services. Outside China, we have more than 12 million SMEs using our services. So our business model, very simple. One side is China side, is a domestic trading. Anything you want to buy, anything you want to sell in China, you can use in the China website. It's like a marketplace, like eBay, but eBay is C2C, we are B2B. The Alibaba B2B, one is China domestic trading, the other is import-export. It's a marketplace for global purchasing, broker buying, and so it grows pretty healthy. We listed 3 years ago in the Hong Kong market, and we were very lucky because the day we were listed, the market was good, so our stock price grew from $13.5 to $40 without doing anything good, just to go up. And 3 months later, our stock from $40 to $3, and without doing anything bad, just up and down. And that was a rock and roll, and now the company is stabilized. We still focus on e-commerce, still focus on SMEs. But the second company, the other 4 companies are private companies. The other company which we own 100% is called Taobao.com, which you probably have, most Chinese people here have heard about it. It is much more influential than Alibaba.com in China. We have more than 300 million registered users. It starts with C2C, but 95% of the is from B2C. And 6 years ago, we started competing with eBay. eBay had a lot of money. At that time, their market cap was $80 billion. They came to China. They said, we'll compete with Alibaba. And we started the business from zero, and we got like 2 or 3% market share. Now we have 90% market share, which eBay had like a 2 or 3% market share. So Taobao is like a combination of of Amazon, eBay, and Google and Facebook. It's a community online, and we have 43 million unique visitors visit the site shopping every day, and we finish 8 million transactions per day, and logistically last year the package delivered on the whole China is 2 billion packages delivered on the road. We created 1.1 billion. So we like 55% of market share that is on the delivery. It's growing very fast, and we already have like 100% growth in the past 7 years, and we'll keep on having 100% this year. And the third company we have called Alipay is like a PayPal. It's a very stupid model. 5 years ago, I thought it's so difficult to do transaction online because people don't trust each other. The banking system is so bad. The infrastructure of finance also bad. So I was worried about what I'm going to do. The bank have the license to do this business, but we know how to do business, but we don't have the license. So at the end, people say, Jack, don't touch that area. If you touch that area, you will be in prison because financial sector is very risky in China. And I said, put me in the prison, let's do it. And we do transparent, we do everything clear in order to make sure government happy, people happy. So we work with the banks, close to 70 banks in China. Today, we have 400 million registered users, and we are the largest online third-party payment without any business model. We just want to help people. That makes the banks very unhappy because we destroy their business model. China, in the world, a good bank like 60 or 70% of the revenues were from the services, but China 70 or 80% of revenues come from the loaning. So we go inside, go into the service. The fourth company is Ali Cloud Computing, which we founded 2 years ago. Because we have the data from small, medium-sized companies, because we have the data from Taobao consumers, and we have the data from Alipay. So the data we collected becomes so influential. So we want all the consumers to share, to understand the data from SME and let the consumers understand the SME data. So that is we've been very focused on cloud computing. And the number 5 company we had is called Yahoo China, which we acquired from Yahoo 5 years ago. So these are the group. And Alibaba is listed. The other 4 are private. And pretty good. We are lucky in China that we combine, like Amazon, eBay, PayPal, and all together in the same group. Like 70% market share in China on e-commerce, and it growing, still keep on growing very fast. One of the reasons people say why you survived in China, why you succeed, because I think one of the key reasons we survived is that we believe always customer number 1, employee number 2, shareholder number 3. And this is the first stick philosophy until now. We still truly, because it's the customer that stay with us. It's the customer we create. Because in internet in China in the past 10 years, there's 3 main business. One is focused on portal sites like Yahoo. Today have Sina, Sohu, NetEase. They focus on the news. And I think it's so difficult to do the news in China unless you are in Beijing. You know the government office, you know the policy, and we don't never understand what the government policy is. So we say, okay, let's stay away from the portal sites. The second business, which in China very, very popular, which probably the most unique business in the world, that's online gaming. And I don't believe that model. I don't like that, because China is a one-child family. If all the kids are playing online gaming, they're so bad. And, right. And my kids and my son and his schoolmates all stick to the online. I think, yes, we can make a lot of money, but I just don't want my kids focus on the online. So we're not doing that. China has already got enough companies focusing on online. Almost all the internet companies have online gaming. We are the only company that is not on online gaming. So the only thing we can do is e-commerce, and the e-commerce is so tough, so difficult to do it. And 10 years ago, e-commerce in the world, B2B, they all want to focus on big companies. They all want to focus on buyers. The value they create is they save the cost for buyers. So we do the opposite. And we believe China, the USA is very good at playing basketball. We should focus on playing ping pong because we should not always play the same. So we said in China, we don't have big companies, so we should focus on small, medium-sized companies. We should not help the buyers. We should help sellers because China wants to sell things abroad. SMEs want to sell things abroad. So we focus on the small, medium-sized. We focus on helping supplies. And the value created is not the saving the cost because SME know how to save the cost but much better than you do. They want to learn how to sell product, how to make money. So then we focus on SME, we focus on supplies, we focus on creating money for them. So these are the focus we stayed on. And that is the everything, for the first 3 years, we did not have any business model. We have 0 revenues for 3 years. It was so tough. It was so difficult. The only thing encouraged us to continue is letters, emails of thanks. We receive hundreds of thousands of emails of thanks every week, every month. People thank us because of us. They created jobs. Because of us, their business grow. And we did not get any money, but if our customer make money, we are happy. And the number 4 year, we start to make money. So the second thing is the employees. I believe, I'm not trained to be a high-tech guy. I hate high-tech. And my wife bought me an iPad. I still don't know how to use it. And I never use the PPT because I don't know how to do it. Every time I use it, something wrong with the PPT. So I don't know how to speak. So I'm trained to be a high school teacher. And I know nothing about technology. The only thing I can use in the computer is send and receive emails and browse. That's it. And I think that's enough, right? And 80% of the people in the world, like me, we hate technology. We want technology to work for us. We should not work for the technology. And so I was for the first 5 years, I was the quality controller of my website. I wanted making sure everything be easy, simple enough to use. Without reading any manual, a dumb clicker can get it. So when the engineers finished their product, they were so excited, something good, and they said, no, let me try it. If I cannot use it, just throw it rubbish, because 80% of people cannot use it. That make our site very popular, and that is the innovation of the colleagues, of the people. So I'm not knowing the technology, we hire the best technician. We do not know the finance, we hire the best. We respect, we work, and that really make the business grow. And the third thing is that I believe the shareholder number 3. We should respect shareholders, listen to them, but you have to do it in your own way. I remember when we come to IPO day in New York and in London, and all the Wall Street said, Jack, give us the shares. We were a long-term shareholder. But when the market crashed, they are the first people who run away, and most of them are not shareholders. We found most people, they are share stock exchange. They move very fast. So we think that we should listen to them, but we should do it in our own ways. That for 10 years, we focus on that. Always believe customer number 1, employee number 2, shareholder number 3. And that is. And the third thing that people say, China doing business is very important. The guanxi, government relationship, that's too complicated. I don't buy that. I mean, those stupid companies focus on government relationships. And government relationship, is that important? Yes. I said the best way to do government relation is in love with them, don't marry them. Never ever do business with them, right? But they respect them, anything, For 10 years, we've been working with all the government officers and tell them what is Alibaba, what is e-commerce, what is internet, because it's so new to any government. If you try to talk to them, not doing anything that is if they want to come to say, Jack, I give you a lot of money, please do this project for us. I said, no, I can introduce my friend to do business to you, but not to me, not us. That we focus on customers. And I think in China, doing business is a lot of fun. Competition is a great fun part of the business. We compete with eBay. We compete with China Telecom 10 years ago and 15 years ago. And we compete with eBay, and later we compete with here and there. Compete is not for compete. Compete is a fun part of the business, and we're never scared of every competition. If Google comes to China, we compete, but we respect. So the whole business today, we think China has a huge potential on e-commerce. E-commerce in the States, I believe, it is a dessert, but China become a main course. Because of infrastructure of doing business so bad. So internet, e-commerce become the infrastructure of China doing business. Just like 10, 20, 15 years ago, China, the infrastructure of telecommunication was so bad. And then the mobile phone suddenly take off. So today, we are facing the same opportunities. So what people say, Jack, then what is your business model for Alibaba Group? Fortunately, we have a business model for B2B, that is membership fee. We do not charge transaction fees. Why not transaction fees? Because membership fee, every SME understand. You try to making sure your customer understand what do you do, what value you created. And when you talk about transactions, the PE for Alibaba will grow, but the customer never understand. We want the customer understand. Forget about the Wall Street analyst. You know, a lot of analysts to write about us, but they never visited us. You just do like a 20 minutes phone call every quarter, and they can write a beautiful report. I mean, that's not us. We have to understand the business model. It should be simple, easy enough that the customer understand. And Taobao, no. Till now, we don't have a business model. We've been free. The first 3 years, we said we will be free for our customers for 3 years because we want to test, we want to try the business model. We were just about to charge number 4 year, and then we say, well, we only have 40 million users. Why not give another 2 years? So we give another 2 years free for 5 years, and we're just about to charge a financial crisis came and say, okay, man, forget about another 2 years. So we've been 7 years without charging transaction fee, listing fee, online shop. But we started, charge a little bit advertising because we have more than 1 billion page views per day, because we have more than 40 million consumers visited site. Little bit of transaction or little bit advertisement dollars already made Taobao very profitable. And I don't want to make a business model now, because Taobao is only 7 years old baby. I mean, we will wait for another 4, maybe 3 years. And then Alipay, free. Because the money we made from Alibaba B2B already can cover Taobao, cover Alipay, and cover cloud computing. And now even we do not charge money for Taobao, the advertisement dollars from Taobao already make Taobao very profitable. So we do everything. We really appreciate we live in China. We live at the internet period. We have the great honor to do to do this business. So we never think about making money. Do any business, we forget about thinking about making money. We think about how we can create value for the society, for the people, for the customers. If the end, the result is that you're making money. So funny, and that really proved well that because we don't think about making money, we made a lot of money. Because I believe if you think about money here, this is US dollar, this is Hong Kong dollars, and you talk is all RMB. Nobody want to make friends with these guys. We want to say, I want to help. We want to help SME. We want to help consumers. So today B2B, Alibaba, Taobao B2C, Taobao C2C, Alipayment, I think this is not the future of e-commerce. The future of e-commerce is C2B, consumer to business. The world is changing. It's not a B2B, it's not a B2C, it's not a C2C, it's C2B, consumer to business. Because we have a large amount of consumers, the consumers can ask, can say, I want a tailor-made. I want large-scale tailor-made. And this makes the e-commerce in China fundamentally changed and different from the USA model. So The other thing we want to use in internet and e-commerce a way to make China new business paradigm, which we call transparent, shared responsibility, and global vision. And we try to making sure every policy we make, everything we do, transparent. We want to share with customers. We want to take responsibility. And I feel very excited because the average age of Taobao today is 25 years old. Alibaba is 27 years old, and all young people. We are a company that we believe value. We are a company that believe the mission, and we learn from the GE that every quarter we have a value review. We have the performance review, and that makes the company really excited. Today, if you have a chance to visit Alibaba, you will see we're like a zoo, all kinds of animals there. I hate to have a farm, all well-trained, but they're farm, and we want to have a zoo that people have different ideas. Some people talk, some people work, and some people exciting. And so this is how we do it. And the headache we are having right now is Alibaba is getting bigger and bigger. We're so influential now in China. And first time in our history, 20 days ago, we had 200 people demonstrate in our company, and they hate the policy we made, because I said if we made any policy, 1% of people don't like us, we have 3 million people don't like it. And today, Alibaba Group, we are not lack of engineers, we are not lack of programmers and service people. We are lack of sociologists. We are lack of psychologists and economists, because we never know how to make a policy. We're just like running a country. It's a big headache. And the average age is only 25, 26. How can they make policies? But we think internet is really, really changed the world. And people probably will ask, in the US, Google is so powerful. And we believe, this is what I believe, the world, we should never be controlled by machines. We should never controlled by computers. Human brain, SNS, social network is more powerful. At the end of the day, we do not want to see cold-blooded machines. We want to see warm people. We want to see every computer at the behind there's an SME, there's a family, there's a consumer, there's a brother and sister that can help each other. So we actually, Alibaba, focus more on community, more innovation, and more on human side.